Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's always nice to have you here. So today we have our pre-last webinar, and I think we can start it. So today we are going to talk about some maybe confusing but pretty interesting topic, which is called reported speech. And we will practice some reading afterwards. So, reported speech. When we take someone's speech and then transform it into reported one, let's have a look. So here, there are three celebrities and some phrases that they once told. So, can you report them? Number one, you can just be yourself. So what do you think? So, PewDiePie said that we could just be ourselves. So here we changed can for could. All right, number two, success will always come down to focus and effort. Who can try reporting this? So Dwayne Johnson said that success would always come down to focus and effort. So we changed will for would, right? Okay, and what about number three? I'm not following any trends now. I just like to be original. So how can we report this part? She said, okay, I see first comment, so it's great that you're waking up. I'm not following any trends. So she said she was not following any trends. So I am not following present continuous. We change it into past continuous. I was not following any trends then or at that time. And that she liked to be original. Yeah, so now we will speak about all the teeny tiny details of reported speech. And I think we can start. So, first of all, how do we form it? Direct speech. She said, I'm not following any trends. And when we change it, first step is to add that. So when we say she said, not just she, but she said that. Sometimes we can skip it, but usually in reported speech we use it. Then the second step would be backshift the verb. And saying backshift or move it 1/10 back, I mean we change present into past, we change will into would, and so on. We will look at all those changes later, but now you just need to get this idea. Backshift the verb, meaning move it 1/10 back. Посунути на один час назад, right? Okay. So, then let's have a look what happened here. She said, I am not following present continuous. She was not following past continuous. Or we say no, at that time, or then. And like is changed for liked. And the third step is to change the point of view words. What does it mean? She spoke about herself from I perspective. Kylie Jenner said, I am not following trends. I like to be original. But when we say that she presented this idea, we say she, right? Was not following any trends and she liked to be original. So here are three main steps of our changes. First, add that. Backshift the verb, meaning move 1/10 back, and then change point of view words, meaning I for she, or for example, we for they, and so on. So then, now let's have a look at some basic changes that we make with different tenses. So, I need your help here. Present simple. What do we change it for? Present simple changes into, that should be easy. Past simple. So I enjoy shopping, she said. She said that she enjoyed shopping. So I enjoyed, she enjoyed. Right. Okay, present continuous is changed into past continuous. I am still wearing a smile you gave me. So she said that, continue the sentence, she said that only the main part. How to change I'm wearing. She said that she was still wearing a smile. Yes, exactly. So present into past continuous, still ing ending. Nice work. So present perfect, we change into past perfect logically. I have finished my essay. So Tom said that help me there. He had finished his essay. Completely right. Okay, present perfect continuous is logically past perfect continuous. I've been working all day. So he told us that he had been working all day. Exactly. And what about past simple? It's already past. So what changes do we make here? So we change past simple into past perfect. Robbie went to the mall. Pam said that Robbie had gone to the mall. Okay, that is right. So again, past simple goes down. And what happened earlier than past simple? Past perfect logically, yeah? Because in past perfect, we finish the action before past simple. So we change past simple into past perfect here, yeah? Okay, and what about past continuous? Logically, it's past perfect continuous. So I was having a bath then. Sally said that she had been having a bath then. Yes, Paulina, completely right. Okay, so we dealt with this part. I think you can have a look at this chart later if you're still not sure in some details. But now let's move on because we have even more things to change. So what about future simple? What do we change it for? So here, instead of will, we use would. We'll meet you in the bank, Mom told me. Yes, guys, you are right. So Mom told me that they would meet us in the bank. Future continuous logically becomes would plus continuous form. So Jen will be arriving at 10. She said that, help me here. That Jen would be arriving at 10. Exactly. And an interesting thing is imperative or наказовий спосіб. When we tell someone what to do, we give some advice, command, or order even. Hurry up, Ben, Anne said. So Anne told Ben. What do you think? To hurry up. Yeah, so just look here. When you have some imperative form, наказову форму, then you add to and make it infinitive. And told Ben to hurry up. Don't be late, Jenna. So mom told Jenna, pay attention, not to be late. So if we want to make negative infinitive, we use not before our to particle, yeah? Turn off the alarm, please. The guard asked him to turn off the alarm. Please don't eat in class. The teacher asked them, again, not to eat in class. Yeah, so the comment that we make it future in the past when we report future is completely right. Just not to, I don't know, make those terms even heavier, we just speak about will changing for would. That's easier to remember, right? But technically, yeah, that is future in the past. Okay, let's keep moving. I have one more chart. So what do we do with modals? You can go to the party, Mom said. Any ideas? What should be done with modals? Could go. So we make or we use past forms of modals. We change can for could, have for had, may for might. But be careful, if there is must, we have two options. You can rather say had to, or you can still use must. Sometimes it's possible. Oh, one more thing. First conditional. If I find a dress I like, I will buy it. Who can report it? If I find a dress I like, I will buy it. And what do we do with the first part, with find? So we make it clear, second conditional. If she found a dress she liked, she would buy it. Yes, exactly. So first conditional just changes into second conditional, just like that. Okay, good job. Let's keep practicing. So here you already have the sentence. Your task is to make it reported. So Rachel said, I've lost my phone. So Rachel said that she had lost her phone. Completely right. Okay, number 2. Natalia said, we are going to travel in July. Natalia said that they were going to travel in July. Okay, you have to work out regularly, the doctor told me. So the doctor told me that I had to work out regularly. Or simply saying, the doctor told me to work out regularly. Can be. Okay, number 4. Jada told me, I will come to visit you as much as I can. She would come to visit me as much as she could. So we don't only change the first part, but don't forget, modals can changes for could. Yeah, guys, thank you for comments. You are right. Number 5, you can't touch the painting because it's priceless. So Mr. Stevens told the kids they couldn't touch the painting because it was priceless. And the last one, Anthony said, I won the match because I trained hard. So he said that by the way, Polina, your option not to touch the painting is also possible. That is right. But if we have model, you can change it for model, right? Yeah, that he had won the match because he had trained hard. Okay, nice job there. So then, one more question here. If we have this sentence, we had already left, she said. So she said that they had already left. Yes, guys, that is right. So what happened here? We had past perfect originally, and we don't change past perfect into anything. So past perfect remains past perfect, and past perfect continuous logically remains past perfect continuous. More than that, if we have past modals already could or should or would or might, no change again. So I lost the key, so I couldn't open the front door. He told me that he had lost the keys. Here we change it. So he couldn't, the same, open the front door. And pay attention. You must be really tired. My mom said that I must be really tired. So must can be changed into had to, if it's about some past necessity, or it can be the same, especially if we give some speculation. Then, second and third conditional, no change. So, if you didn't overspend, you wouldn't be in debt. Overspend, like потратився занадто. She told him that if he didn't overspend the same, he wouldn't be in debt. So do you see any changes? Me neither. Okay, let's keep moving. So now I will show you some sentences. Your task is to tell me whether they are correct. Let's have a look. She said that Paris is the capital of France. She said that Paris was the capital of France. What do you think? Which is right? All right, so that is actually A. She said that Paris is the capital of France, and we don't use was, even though we have past reportive here. So just remember, if you report some facts, states, or situations that continue to be true, you may not change the tense in the original sentence. For example, he told me that he lived in New York. But if he still lives in New York, you can say he told me that he lives in New York, meaning that it's still up to date, that it's still current information. All right, what about these two pairs? So, Lynn says, Mom will be home soon. Lynn says that Mom will be home soon. What do you think about A? Correct or not? Okay, and B, Lynn said, Mom will be home soon. Lynn said that Mom would be home soon. Okay. So here, both of them are correct. Because in the first sentence, we have says, каже. So it is happening right now. Лін каже, що мама буде вдома скоро. And that is completely right, because here we don't have past reportive word. And if we have said past reportive, then we change will for would. So when the reportive verb is in a present tense, we don't need to change it. Make sense? Good. Now let's keep checking. So what about these sentences? Joan, I'll be late. So 1 or 2, which one looks correct? John said me that he would be late, or John told that he would be late. So both sentences are correct? Neither. Exactly. So when we use said, then we never use the object. So after said, we don't need me part. John said that he would be late, or John told me again that he would be late. Those are correct options and not something else. So with tell, we need some object. He told me, I tell you, or for example, tell us the news. But with say, we cannot use the object right after it. So we say only Julia said some information, or he said his name, or say your name. So we never say to me or say me. It doesn't work. But if you want to show whom, then you can say your name to me. Or she said some sentences to the teacher. And also pay attention that we can use tell in reported orders, and then we use the order like this. She told me to do something. Okay, let's keep moving. So now you have to decide whether tell or say in some correct form is hidden there. So number 1, just write the correct form of tell or say. All right, I see the answers. I told you before, I didn't take your card, so I told you. We have the object. Number 2. Oksana said yes to her boyfriend. Exactly, so firstly we give the information. Number 3. His mom probably told him something because he looked upset. Number 4. His mom said something to him. So told him something, but said something to him. Number 5, already have answers. William told them the truth. Number 6, my neighbor, and say there. Did he say anything to you? Number 6, my neighbor said good morning. Number 7, who told her this secret? Number 8, my friend told me about his promotion and I said nothing Because I was jealous. Yes, completely right. So I hope that is clear. Just pay attention that you never say something like tell, then use. You tell someone and then something, or you say something to someone. Okay, so the next activity. Here we have the sentences with some mistakes. Can you find them? Emily, our teacher will go to Leipzig tomorrow. Emily said that their teacher would go to Leipzig tomorrow. So who can see the mistake? Tomorrow is incorrect, and that is right. So we change it for the next day. All right. Number 2. Robert, my father flew to Dallas last year. So Robert told me that his father had flown to Dallas last year. So the previous year. Okay, we will deal because I see lots of questions, but mostly we say the next day or the following day if we speak about something in the future, and we say the previous year, for example, or the day before when it comes to time back. And what about number 3? We didn't eat fish 2 days ago. So Andrew remarked that they hadn't eaten fish 2 days before. So now let's remember that if we report something about time, then usually we need to make some changes. But if the time is the same, you may not make those changes. What I mean, if, for example, tomorrow is still tomorrow, you can use this word. So, for example, like a second ago, you had a conversation with your friend and you agreed to meet tomorrow. Then you can say that Lisa said that we can meet tomorrow because tomorrow is still there. So the information wouldn't be changed if you use tomorrow. But if that tomorrow is not tomorrow anymore, sorry for confusing, but like that, then you need to change it for the next day. Okay. So now help me. What do we change those words for? Now. What should I put in reported speech when I have now? Then, тоді. Okay, or at that moment can be. Also at the moment, at that moment. Number 2, today, tonight. That day or that night, exactly. Yesterday. The day before or the previous day. Tomorrow. The next day or the following day, completely right. Okay, next week, oh sorry, we have last week or last month or last year. So last changes for the previous week, month or year, or the week, month, year before. Both options are okay. That week I would use instead of this week. For example, I am busy this week. He told me he was busy that week. Okay, next week, month, whatever, becomes the following week, month, whatever. And instead of ago, we say before. Right. Okay, so some other words not related with time, but something that we should change. What do we put instead of this? or these for plural. So we say, for example, this day or these days. That and those, exactly. So this, цей, becomes that, той. These, ті, becomes those, ті. Here becomes there. So instead of тут, you say там, there. Okay, and when it comes to pronouns or possessive adjectives, we change them according to the context. Meaning, he told me, I don't need your help. He told me that he, not I, didn't need, not your, but my help. So that is about pronouns. All right. What about this dialogue? So two girls are meeting and one is asking, do you like my new t-shirt? The answer is, yeah. And then sometime later, she tells this situation saying she asked me, t-shirt. I said yes, but it was horrible. So if I like, or maybe a bit different. If I liked her t-shirt, exactly. So when it comes to questions, and you have a general question started with auxiliary verb like, do you like something? Have you got something? We put if to report it. So look here and remember some basic rules about reported questions. First of all, we change tenses the same way we did it in other types of sentences. Then the word order changes. We don't use question form, meaning, have you traveled to Lviv? She asked me if I had traveled to Lviv. So instead of have you, we say I had, like usual sentence, not a question. Okay, and the most common reporting verbs for questions are asked and wanted to know. So we don't say she told me if. She asked me if, or she wanted to know if. Now, let's have a look at some other rules. So when it comes to a sentence with a question word, for example, where do you live? Or what are you doing? Then we use this where or what in our reported sentence. Let's try. Where did you buy that shirt? My friend asked. So my friend asked me, who can continue? Where I bought? Not really. Where I had bought. Remember, past simple, we change into past perfect. So where I had bought that shirt. Yeah, that is right. Okay. So what about sentences without a question word? Then we add if or whether, and we can translate them something like чи. Do you like music? She asked me whether I liked music. Вона запитала мене, чи люблю я музику. Okay, let's try. Has Mike graduated yet? She asked me. If Mike had graduated yet. Completely right. And the third one, did you finish the report? My boss wanted to know. If I had finished the report, or maybe whether I had finished the report. And that is completely right. Okay, now let's practice more. So you need to turn the sentences into reported questions. Where do you come from, Alice? Adam asked Alice. Where she came from. Completely right. Have you ever met Paul? She wanted to know. If I had ever met Paul. Guys, good job. You do it right. Okay, number 3. Can I borrow your bike, David? Frank asked David. If or whether he could borrow his bike. Completely right. Okay, number 4. How much did the cinema tickets cost? Helen wondered. How much the cinema tickets had cost. So not costed, by the way. Cost, cost, cost. 3 forms are the same. Yes, people? Cost, cost, cost. So had cost. You make it past perfect, not past simple. Right. And number 5. Will you be able to help us with the shopping tomorrow? She asked him. There are a lot of changes that you have to do, that you have to make. So let's try. If, what's next? Okay. If he would be able to help them with the shopping the following day. So we changed lots of details. Will for would, you for he, help us, help them, and tomorrow for the following day. But guys, you did it, and you did it right. Cool. Okay, so I have some more sentences to change. Let's keep practicing. What is the weather like today? He inquired, запитав. What the weather was like that day. Okay, correct. Number 7. Why were you absent last week, Betty? The teacher asked Betty. So, what the weather was like. You move was in the middle. You put it after the subject because it's not a question anymore. Okay, and here, why she had been absent. All right. Number 8. Are you going to work tomorrow? She asked me. If I was going to work the next day. Okay, you change it. Nice. Number 9. Is Anne American or does she come from Europe? Mary wanted to know. if Anne was American or she came from Europe. Nice. Number 10. Who did you invite to your party? My brother asked me. My brother asked me who I had invited to my party. Right. Whom is also possible. Okay. Now let's have a look here. We focus on reporting verbs right now. So instead of saying say, tell, or ask, we can use plenty more verbs. What do you think can fit here? First, you have to enter a password, he said. So if we give some information, for example, to our grandma, what do? He explained, пояснив, that I had to enter a password. Yeah, completely right. Also can be mentioned. Well, informed is possible, but explanation, explained, sounds really nice. Don't you agree? All right. So then, when we report some general meaning of a sentence, sometimes we can change the sentence a little bit and use different words, and maybe even change the structure a little bit. So let's have a look what I mean. Here are some words like promised, suggested, warned, explained, and you have to use them instead of words like say or tell. So, why don't we go out for lunch? She said. So, what do you think might be here? She suggested going out for lunch. Запропонувала. Yeah, and pay attention that we don't say she suggested that. She suggested going. So ing form, out for lunch. Okay, number 2. We will definitely come and help, she said. So she promised. She promised, пообіцяла, to come and help. And here we use infinitive form, to. Okay, number 3. First, you have to enter a password. So he, it might be something familiar to you, explained, yes. Number 4, it's dangerous to swim after eating. So, my mom warned me, застерегла мене, not to swim after eating. Yeah, completely right. Okay, so here I have some groups of reporting verbs which can be used with different forms. So the first category, with words like accuse, advise, apologize, we use the object after them, then some preposition, and then a gerund form of the verb, or maybe noun. So he accused him of stealing her phone. Звинуватила його у крадіжці телефона. Or, for example, he advised me against buying that gadget. Він відрадив мене купувати той гаджет. He advised me against doing something. Or we can just say, he advised me against that gadget. Just a noun. So the second category, here we use the verb and then gerund. So, for example, she admitted doing it. Вона зізналася, що робила це. Or he denied stealing my phone. Він заперечував, що вкрав мій телефон. Or I recommend trying this dish. The second category, here we have verb, then object, and then full infinitive, meaning infinitive with to. So, for example, he advised me to do something. Or, for example, he asked me to come with him. Or he promised us to keep the secret. Next group. Here we have verb, then object, and then that clause. So, for example, we agreed that it is the best option. Or she explained us that she was very busy. Or, for example, she warned us that we don't have to go to that place. And the last group, here you use verb, then you use that optionally, subject, and then rather should, like a recommendation. So, for example, she insisted that we should go with them. Or Max suggested that we should listen to him, or that we listen to him. So here you can use should, or you can skip it. Everything that you can see in brackets is optional. All right. Now here, or the link in the comments, you can scan the QR code or open the link and find a big chart with different reportive verbs and the ways of their usage. So at the previous slide, we had only few examples, but there are more of them. And if you want to check them, you can do it later. And now let's try practicing. So look at sentence number 1. What do you think? Melissa suggested or decided meeting at the toy shop? She suggested meeting. Запропонувала зустріч. Or зустрітися. Okay, number 2. Dad said or reminded me to remove the price tag from my new jumper. Dad reminded, нагадав мені, because said is never used with me. Dad said to remove, possible, but Dad reminded me. Number 3, my colleagues insisted or agreed on taking me to Paris. Insisted, наполягли на тому, щоб взяти мене. Okay, number 4. Mom promised or admitted to buy some new boots. Promised to buy, пообіцяла купити. And number 5, the student denied or refused to turn off his mobile phone. He refused, він відмовився вимкнути. All right. Now, let's try to correct some mistakes. Number 1, I told that I would meet them outside. What do you think? I said. Exactly. Or I told him or I told them that I would meet them outside, or just said. Number 2, Danny said that he will meet me later that evening, but he never came. That he would meet me. Yeah, it happened in the past, or didn't happen in our case. Number 3, I suggested you to go to the new museum. So I suggested you going Or I suggested that we should go to the new museum. Number 4, she asked me where did I put her coat and bag. So she asked me where I had put her coat and bag. We don't use did, it's not a question anymore. And number 5, he told me he was busy today. That day. Completely right. Okay, so now I think you know it better because finding some mistakes prevents you from making your own ones later on. Okay, just a few more activities before we finish. So there you have to choose the correct option. Let's go. Carla's parents to buy her a car for her 18th birthday. And that is D. They promised to buy, пообіцяли купити. Number 2, Clara reminded the cat to the vet. So she reminded me to take the cat to the vet. Completely right. Number 3, the manager told me that if I something to order the phone, I get something in advance. If I wanted to order the phone, I had to pay in advance. Мені доведеться заплатити, мені довелося б заплатити. So that is B. Okay, number 4, I already spoiled. So my coach advised me against eating. Відмовив мене, порадив мені не їсти before the match. And the last one, number 5, Matt asked if he could come shopping with us. Nice work. Okay, one more slide, 5 more questions. Let's go. So the librarian told in the library. Again, number 1. Told us to be quiet. Guys, that is my mistake. Letter B is correct. So he told us to be quiet. I think I accidentally removed the correct option. Okay, number 2. Katya asked number 2, you say it is D. Okay, let's have a look. Katya asked actually whether they could have Mom's birthday party here. Because were they able to have, if is missing. If they were able to have, or whether they could have. Okay, number 3. Dad asked me whether I had spent a lot of money on my new tablet. Completely right. Okay, number 4. Grace and Will asked the policeman where the library was. So that is letter C. Not the question order. Where was, it's a question. Where the library was, it's a reported question. Okay, number 5. Why are you so upset? Andrew blamed me for ruining his party. Letter C is correct. Nice work. Okay, let's keep moving. So not many activities left. Reading task is the last activity for today, and I would like to focus on missing parts of the sentences today. So to do this task correctly, firstly, you look through the text briefly. Why do we need to do that? Any ideas? Why do we look through the text? Can't we just start putting the correct phrases into the gaps? Yeah, so here, understanding the general meaning, whether it's about some historical event or if it's about some invention, or whatever the topic is, it will help you a lot later on to put the gaps correctly. So when you have the general idea, you can already make those missing words into some chronological order. Then you decide what kind of information is needed in each gap, whether it's some object or maybe place or maybe some description or maybe some action, whatever. Of course, next you choose the best option. And after that, you check if or whether the answer suits the gap in all the terms: subject-verb agreement, noun-pronoun agreement, verb, tense, and so on. Then you reread the complete text to make sure everything sounds fine. And eventually, you check if extra answers don't suit any of the gaps. So, shall we try? Here is the text. It's not that big. And here are some possible parts of the sentences for your gaps. So, number one. If you haven't decided, what your true role in this word is, yet pay attention, it's not a question, just like reported speech. Not what is, but what your true role is. Number two. Tesco has posted a job advert for a Christmas light untangler. And they Number two, want the unknowing expert to start work as soon as possible to be ready for the festive season. The basic idea is, number three, yes, A, that customers bring in their Christmas lights, which they can't untangle, like распутать themselves, and the expert will get them back to their unraveled origin state in store. Okay, number four, you must Number four, you say it's F, but it isn't. So you must manage the Christmas lights untangling stand. All right. Next. Number five. And here it's F, and handle them all carefully to keep everything in perfect condition. Okay, then the last one. If you are good at puzzle, Rubik's cubes, and things like that. B, then you could be the ideal candidate. Okay, nice. So, and before I let you go, as usually, tricky questions from me. So, can we use whether instead of if? Yes, of course. She asked me if, or she asked me whether I could help her the same. Number 2, can we use present tenses after reportive verbs in the past? Guys, mention numbers because I see only yes. I don't know if it's for number 1 or 2. So again, can we use? I like this answer from Paulina sometimes. So yeah, that is possible when we present some information which is always true, like a general fact. She told me that sun moves, present, from east to west, right? Because it's a general fact. Okay, number 3. Do we change now for yesterday in reported speech? No. What do we change it for? It's not now, it's then. Oh, spoilers. Number 4. Can we say he offered going to the cafe? You already see that it's no, but how to make it right? He offered to go. And number 5. Can we say he told that he knew the truth? No. What would be right? He told that he knew the truth. Who can see the mistake? He said that he knew the truth. So it's not told, it's said, because we don't have an object there. Completely right. So, if you managed to answer those questions, I think my mission for today is done. So thank you for our meeting. Thank you for your good work. As always, you are great. And I hope you will pass this exam easily. So see you next time at our final meeting. That would be our 17th webinar and the last one at the same time. So I really hope to see all of you. Good luck and goodbye.